I'm trying to make sure we got our IT department taken care of. All right, we good? We good. All right, what's good, everybody? I'm 6'5" Mir, 6'5" in real life. This is how times change. This is an in-depth dive into social norms of different topics. We like to touch on past, present, and future, just to analyze what people have done. Might be 50 years ago, might be yesterday, might be some other times throughout the span of the 1900s. We might go back to 500 years ago. You never know. But one thing for sure is social norms definitely change. And today we're here to analyze those different things. Hello, Green. How you doing? So today on today's show, we're going to discuss different social norms in dining and dating. So we got two guests coming up today. We got Why It Matter. I know you guys seen Why It Matters. She's definitely a good content creator on the app, and she's definitely around everywhere. So you're bound to see her somewhere. And then we got Top Badge Prince Jr. Coming in also. So definitely hit these two with a fave when they come up. But right now, we're gonna talk about dining and dating, things that might have been obsolete, have become obsolete, something you might have seen your parents do, something you might have seen your grandparents do. So, without further ado, I would like to invite my first guest up. Why it matter? If we try to figure out why does it matter on dining and dating. You know what I'm saying? So, if you can, why? I'm gonna box you up really quick. You know,
Hey, Mirror.
what's up? Why?
Not much, not much.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. No, you see, I didn't really tell nobody what we was talking about because I already know the little triggers was about to come out a little bit. You know. All right, why?
A little
Tell
bit.
about yourself, where they could find you at, different things like that.
I normally stream 10:30 a.m. and p.m. Eastern time every day. This is just the last week that my kids are home from school, so I'll be back to my 10:30 a.m. Streams next week. And every Tuesday, I'm in Cookie's Live as her co-host for Difference Together with Cookie. Wednesdays, I have my new featured show Found a Way at 11 p.m. Eastern, and then Fridays I do Debate of the Genders at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Definitely hit White with a fave and check her out. She got a lot of different things going on the app, just like I said before. So definitely tap in. Really good
Thank you,
spirit
sir.
and a dope streamer. You know. So Wyatt, you ready? You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. So um, we'll say first thing I would just like to ask when you're finding when you're going in the dating world, how is it? How important is it to express your intentions?
Very important. Communication is key. I'm upfront with you. Like I tell people, like if I'm gonna date you, my end result is for something that's gonna be like marriage or whatever have you, something long lasting. I don't date a person just for the hell of it. Now, if we're just hooking up, and I'm gonna be honest about that too. Like I need to know if I'm getting my feelings involved, if I am just here just for the time being. Like I need that type of communication.
All right. Let's rewind the clock really quick to about, we'll say 40 years, 50 years ago or something like that. How do you feel the difference between expressing your intentions have changed from 40 years ago till now?
It's definitely changed because I feel like before there it was just so taboo or it just wasn't a thing to be the side piece or to just hook up. Everybody kind of had that intention of this is what it's going to be. So nobody really spoke on it. It was just kind of a given. And I feel like over time the media and social media and just the norm in society, period, had just changed to where, like boyfriend number two. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to be
Oh yeah,
the person
and that
on
was
the
a good
side.
song. Hey, boyfriend number two, because the first one ain't doing it. What he's supposed to do, you know?
Exactly.
All right, I feel that. I feel that. Definitely be honest about your intentions and find common ground in things that you're looking for. All right, so in my parents would call it courting. You know, I
Hmm.
wouldn't use that word. I would just call it a I wouldn't even say a hot date. We just hitting the town, we stepping out, those different type of things like that. When you go out on a date, what are some of the things that you look for? Just just like, hey, well, pretty much like, what are you looking for when you go out on a date? Is it the approach? What's more important when people can ask
So
me,
they
what do you
so
feel
so
is
the person
important?
already got the date?
Yeah, they already got the
Okay.
date because I'm gonna talk.
Okay.
I asked it a little backwards. I meant to ask the question to get the date first, but I asked backwards. So we're gonna touch on the second part.
Okay. So if the person already has the date, what do I look for on the date? Um, Attentiveness to me. You're there to get to know me. That's what dating is, getting to know the person deeper than just off that level of when you guys met. And that's why relationships don't last. You're not getting to know the person on a deeper level. And so I look for if you're in your phone all the time. Because once you're in your phone, I'm in my phone and I just don't pay attention when I'm in my phone. I mean, I do, but like you're going to think that I'm not interested in you. So I look for the attentiveness to me. Are you asking me questions deeper than, hey, how was your day? Like, no, like find more out about me while we're on these dates. And are you doing something that
Definitely,
I might want to do as well? Or are we just here and going, you're just bringing me along to somewhere that you want to go?
for sure, definitely. I mean, dating with a purpose is definitely something that is a social norm. Women date with purpose. Most of the time, guys don't always date with purpose, but a lot of times women do. Um,
Hmm.
Now we'll say the pre getting the date. Like back in the day, how a young man would have to go and ask your dad
Hmm.
if he could even date you. How do you feel like that has changed over times? Like, do we just skip the parents? Like, is meeting the parents like a regular? Now people hide their parents, but like, is it now? How do you feel about that? Should people still try to
I
connect with your
admit,
family to date you?
when I started dating, I hated bringing the dudes that wanted to date me home to meet my parents because they would drill them with questions. And I didn't want them to be like, oh, no, I can't deal with that. So I used to always try to avoid it. So I never really brought a dude home who wanted to date me. It was like he already got the date. And I'm like, okay, just letting you know now you gotta come to the door though. Like we don't gotta stay long, but you gotta come to the door. And so like we would do that and we would I'll be like, just give it like 10, 15 minutes and then we'll rush to wherever we gotta go to. Like we'll rush out the door. And so that's what we would do. So they would have to tolerate the questioning for a little bit, but not too much.
I definitely have experienced that. I met this nice young lady when I was in high school, and I asked her out on a date, and she told me I had to meet her dad, right? So
Hmm.
she was a church girl, so you definitely had to go meet her dad and everything. And I just remember being like, "Oh, I'm gonna just tell him whatever he want to hear," like I'm gonna just go with the flow. I'm gonna joke with the mom a little bit. I'm gonna try to get the parents on my side, and then I'm gonna go back and do whatever. I remember meeting him and I just amped it up, boy. I amped it up. Like I was like, yeah, I was playing football in high school. It's like, yeah, I'm a football player, star football player. And this is when I was a junior though. So I'm like star football player. I got great grades. I wasn't lying about certain stuff, but I was amping it up more. He's like, you go to church? I was like, yeah, I go to church. I sit in the front row at my church. I was just like, playing till whatever, I could do to get her out to go on this date. And
Hmm.
ended up running into him again. He ended up being a part of my family's church. And it was kind of like one of those, hey, I know you too kind of things. But I know definitely meeting the dad meeting the dad first and going through the parents was definitely important. These days, you parents have like a like that safety net up. They do things to
Hmm.
protect us. So some of these women need to take dudes to their parents' house first to weed them out. You know, that's what I feel.
Definitely.
You go to the house about, oh yeah, I can't get past your parents. If you're dating with a purpose, you're gonna have to deal with my parents anyway. So definitely
Hmm.
should do those different type of things. Mm, all right,
I agree.
I have to go back. Um, what's something that people put before themselves in a relationship that has might um, that might have changed over the years? Like, what do you put first in a relationship?
Themselves. A lot of people don't go in to a relationship
What's up, Byron?
now thinking and taking the other person into consideration. It's always me, 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 me.
Definitely, definitely, I could see that. Um, whether it was like, I don't know, you know, you grow up seeing your parents, so I could always see my dad would always sacrifice and do things for my mom. I can never say my dad put himself before my mom. He always put me and my siblings first. And then in
Hmm.
dating, I'd never really talked to him about dating because you don't really want to talk to your parents about them dating each other because it's like, but you know, um, how do you see things like that? Like, how has putting yourself first changed?
I feel like, because like I said, I date with more of a purpose, and maybe it's just me being a female, and naturally we're nurturers. So when it comes to dating or being with somebody, I listen. I'm very attentive. Like, maybe you are short on gas and you bring it up. Not that you're asking me, but it's just like, yeah, damn, I'm running low on gas today. Like, I might cash up you $20, $30 just to have something in your tank. Or, you didn't pack your lunch for work today. I might DoorDash you something. You know, little things like that. Like, I put you before myself. Like, I'm thinking about what you got going on. But anytime you hear me and what I got going on, it's like there's no movement. There's no jump. Like, hey, did you need anything this week, or is anything going on? So something like
Definitely,
that.
I feel that. All right, a big thing too, because I go back and forth with it in the stream a lot. Um,
Hmm.
a norm, a norm for men are paying for dates, right? These days,
Hmm.
it's more like we try to preach the 50-50, I pay for a date, you pay for a date kind of thing. How do you see that has changed like over time? The courting of a date, me paying for a date, me, versus women these days taking over that role.
I feel it's definitely changed. I feel a lot of people try to really lean on that 50-50. And you're not 50-50 until you're in a relationship. You're trying to get me to, like, as much as it sounds like, we're selling ourselves, because people have compared it to that before, like you're selling yourself for a meal. And I'm like, technically, but that's it's the same thing like when you go and get married, how they had the bridal taxes and things like that. Like, you're paying for this relationship to happen, you know? And I've done it too. I've changed the norm. I was talking to somebody for like about a month, and then we finally went on our first date after a month, and I paid for everything. I paid for the whole night, and it, you know, and I get where men are changing now because, yeah, he ran off. He got his meal. He got whatever he got out of it. Never heard from him. Then he came back, apologized, and lo and behold, he was in a relationship the whole time.
Mm,
So like I can understand where men nowadays are kind of falling back and trying to do the 50-50 so they're not losing out, because there are women out there as well that will use you just for the date.
definitely, definitely will do that. What's good, everybody? I'm 6'5" Mirror Mirror. This is Why It Matter. We got Wyatt in the box. Make sure you hit her with a fave. She's definitely a good content creator. She has a bunch of shows going on the app. And as you can see, she's in the dating world a little bit. So if there's some dudes in the bag, you know what I'm saying? Y'all getting the inside scoop right now. So y'all know. Hey, look, be careful. You're gonna slide in them DMs though. They can get tricky in there. All right. I was looking up this term. It's called "be the chooser," and it came up under a social norm thing for men and women, being the
Mhm.
chooser. How do you see that term, "be the chooser," compared to, like, I mean, dating or just
Don't
meeting
settle.
people? Like, yeah, be the
Don't
chooser.
settle. Don't settle. Like, make sure, like, I guess I have these conversations with men too. It's just like, why me? I've had plenty of men that say, why me? And
Good
I've
morning. Good
said it
morning.
too. Like, I've looked at the lineup of girls that they've had, like, on their line, or that they interact with daily, and I'm like, why are you trying to climb my tree? Like, why are you over here? And so, whenever I've been in a relationship as of recently, um, I always say, like, I'm glad you chose me, but they're like, well, technically you chose me because I came to you. It was the final decision was yours. And that's what somebody had told me. And I was just like, you know what, you're right. And that's something that I think we need to start doing too. Like, don't just settle for a person that wants you, or don't just settle for less. Choose what you want, and then you're gonna remain happy.
Right, right. We have a lot of who is the prize conversations going on these days, so
Hmm.
men feel like they're the prize because they're the breadwinners, and then women feel like they're the prize also. Back in the day, it was custom for a man to go to work, take care of all the bills, and the wife stayed at home and pretty much took care of the house and the duties of the house. That was a
Hmm.
norm. you know um so how do you feel like that's changed over the years? Because I mean, there's definitely successful women, and there are stay-home dads and things like that, but with dating, like, who do you feel like they see themselves these days? Like, who's really the prize these days, or is it just an individual thing?
I guess for me, I'm a firm believer now in you can't find, thank you, love, you can't find happiness in another person. You have to be happy and content with yourself. You have to know who you are. So it's all about finding that match that is going to complete what you got going on. So I've always said this in my show. We talked about in Debate of the Genders, like, is it okay to have a house husband? And I said, me personally, yeah, that's fine, as long as we understand that what your role is. You're a house husband. So if you're gonna not work and I gotta go work and bring in the financials, then yeah, clean the dishes, cook the meal, take the kids to and from school, practice, whatever have you. Do things around the house. If I have no problem with being a housewife, as long as he's fulfilling the title of the breadwinner and is taking care of us financially. It's a team type of thing. I think that's what it has changed. That instead of us depending solely on the man, now women can go work and do what they need to do. So it's a team based thing. We got to have equilibrium.
Definitely, definitely. I know, like, during the war times where it was like World War I and World War II, a lot of the women were the ones in the factories making the bullets and the bombs and the uniforms and all those different kind of things. I know you guys probably seen some of the propaganda with the woman. She got a bonnet on her head or a scarf, and she got her arm
Hmm.
like this, like those different type of things. Women
That's when women
definitely
had to step to the
are
plate.
the yeah, they were the backbone. They had to take care of the work industry now, and then after that, they showed that, hey, look, we're equal. We can be on some of the same type of jobs that the men could do. If a man could work in a steel mill, I could work in a steel mill too. You know what I'm saying? Not the bonnet. The bonnet was definitely on there. Don't worry, I'm gonna pull the picture up. We'll find the
It
picture. She was on there with the bonnet flexing her muscle. You know what I'm saying? You know.
was a
Um,
headscarf, but I'll
it was a
I'll I'll
headset. You know what I'm
digress.
talking about, though. I said bonnet, but you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, what are some of the norms of things that you gain from a relationship knowledge base? Like, when you're dating, are you looking to learn something from somebody? Are you want to see that that leader in the man per se? You know, like is that a norm to want to see him
Everything,
as a leader?
everything is a lesson. You learn something every day. So whether he's taking the lead or I'm taking the lead or whatever have you, you learn something. Even when you are a leader, you learn something. Because I'm a great believer in a great leader knows when to follow. They know when, like, hey, this ain't my forte. Can you step in and take the reins and learn from it? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't look for a man to teach me anything. It's more so get in where you fit in. Do what you need to do in the aspects of life that I just don't know nothing about. Like, and then I'll step in when there's something that you don't know. It's like I'm very big on teamwork and us just knowing when to play our role.
Right, right. Playing your role. That's that. Everybody got a journey, man. You got to stay focused on what it is, and we all have a part. You can't be 50-50, you know what I'm saying, if it's 60-20. And 50-50 doesn't necessarily have to be bills, those different type of things. It could be mentally and physically,
Hmm.
the support is the support meeting up in the middle, you know. What's good, everybody? I'm 6'5" Mirror Mirror. This is why it matter. Why it matter. I'm still trying to figure it out why it matter, you know. Um, all right. So I'm gonna touch on this just a little bit because this is an actual topic that we're gonna have a whole show on. But the concept of like chivalry,
Hmm.
do you feel like chivalry is going on today, or is that they were like chivalry's not dead? Like, how have you experienced that in your life, or is it different now? I don't. She want to fall
I
out laughing.
feel
Ah.
I feel me personally, I have yet to really have the full experience of chivalry. I've had men that I've tried and done a little touch of it, but I've never had the full experience like how they had it 20 some years ago. I would say maybe even more than that. Um, so I'm not saying it's completely dead. I just have yet to find somebody that has offered me the full experience. However, we got to take into consideration what are we attracted to? What are we accepting? What am I choosing? It might be a man that I'm just ignoring and he is gonna offer me that chivalry while I'm over here looking at this one over here who ain't offering me that chivalry.
Definitely.
So,
The print I would say like the Prince Charming
mhm,
knight in shining armor effect, or am I rolling up and sweeping you off your feet these days? Do guys even do that anymore? You hear about it in storybooks, or you see about when you talk to your grandparents or you talk to old people in society, and you talk to them about like how was it for you when you started dating? And you always say, "Ooh, child, your grandpa was so smooth. He just wooed me and swept me off my
exactly.
feet and those different kind of things." Do you
It
hear
don't happen
stories like that
nowadays.
today?
You
You
don't
don't hear
have
stories
that.
like that?
No, you never do.
Hmm. I don't know,
Not in
man. I feel
today's
like
dating scene.
hey, look, I'm great. I'm great on dates. You know what I'm saying? I know how to plan them out. Maybe I got that from the old folks. I feel like it goes a long way when you plan out a date. You know, um, I don't know, chivalry, man. It's definitely a topic we're gonna talk about in the future. I feel like we feel like we need to like go deeper into that for sure.
Oh,
What do you
definitely.
feel
I need to
is
elaborate.
um what do you feel like something that has went obsolete in dating besides chivalry is gonna come back in the future?
Mm, people actually staying and trying to work through things. There are plenty of relationships from back in the day where somebody was cheating, but they stayed and they made it work and they got past it and they stay together till death do they part. I was taught the three F's. That's fight, take flight, or have faith. So what they mean by fight is you're just you're gonna stay for the argument instead of you walking away, taking that breather, and then coming back and fixing it. Taking flight, as soon as you run into a problem, you're gonna dip. Like, nope, I can't do this, and then you're out, relationship done. Or you're gonna have faith that you're going to get past it, and you guys come together and come to a conclusion to get past that hurdle. And I think that's the problem now. We're so quick to be like, oh, I got options, bye.
Hey, look, I've seen some of y'all DMs on here, so I know you guys got options, but jumping into another situation when you've left the last one, it's not really smart. You always bring the damage on to, the next situation if you don't close it out.
Because nobody's learning
Um,
anything.
hmm So
Mhm.
I know back in the day they definitely, like you said, they would stay together for um the kids or whatever situations they might have had, but it might have been damaging. It might not have been damaging. These days, I like to look at it like basketball. I don't know if you girls follow basketball or not, or anybody in here does. These days, a player plays with a team. 1 year doesn't get a ring, then he's on to the next, team. These
Mhm.
days, it's not like, all right, I'm signing up for a 10-year deal. A lot of times now, you go where the good players is at. And I know my analogy and comparison is a little more for men to understand, but it's like that too in the dating world. When you met somebody, it was your forever love. You know, that was like,
Mhm.
this is the one person for me. I dated this one person. We were high school sweethearts, and here we are now. We got kids. We made it work, sticking it through. My parents been married for over 40 years, and I kind of be like, you want that, but does it really happen? You know,
Right.
it's kind of, we're more available these days. We're more available. You know,
Exactly.
what's good, everybody? I'm 6'5" Mirror, 6'5" in real life. Bring a ladder, getting stuff off top of the refrigerator, all that good stuff like that. Far as the future and technology, because right now we're on a social media platform that is, it promotes online dating. How
Mhm.
do you see online dating in the future? Like, will it become more virtual, or are people going to even,
Mhm.
or are we going to sit down at a virtual table and eat?
At this point, I really feel like our idea of dating itself has become obsolete. So whether it's in real life or virtual, I feel like it's just dead now. You got people that are on these dating sites strictly looking to hook up.
Right.
Like they've deaded the whole idea and aspect of dating. They turned it into where it's these are hookup sites now.
Netflix and chill, right?
Hmm.
I know some of our parents and grandparents would definitely be like disappointed in like how the dating world has come. And some people aren't tech savvy. So do you feel like there's hope? Like, do you feel like there's something going to come out of the future for dating that's going to be positive, or is it just going to stay the way that it is?
If we could change the morals and values of today's society, then yeah, I think there might be that little bit of hope. But as long as we're not promoting those core values, it's dead.
Definitely. What's up, everybody? I'm 6'5" Mirror. We got Wyatt in the box. She's tapping in with us, what I'm saying, and telling us a little bit about dining and dating, social norms. If you guys haven't, if you guys just now coming in, some of the things we touched on, is chivalry still around? Do guys ask women out on dates anymore? Who pays for the date? You know, um, what kind of things are you looking for when you go on a date? Are you looking to to be courted? Do men still have to ask your parents to go out on dates? You know, those different type of things. Are they
Hmm.
obsolete? You know, can I call you up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna ask you out on a date. Do I need to talk to your mom first?" Um, Even like when you get married, are men still asking the dad for the daughter's hand in marriage? Those different type of things, you know.
Right.
Um, let's throw you for a loop real quick. You
Okay.
know, I like to go way back in the time. You know what I'm saying? We talking about
Hmm.
way before we was even here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Thank you y'all for sliding. How do you feel about arranged dating? Like parents setting kids up without them knowing the other individual.
I don't like it because my parents tried to do that. Like, not like they arranged the date and I went out on the date with the person. It was more so like, I got this person for you, and then they'll introduce me to the person. I'm like, what was you thinking? No. Like, so I don't think I would really. I couldn't do no arrangement. And there's some who are like, you'll learn to love them, but then you're living a life of misery with this person.
I feel that.
I'm a definite believer in
I've
be a
been hooked up
chooser.
a couple of times. I understand. You know, grandmas and aunties, they always trying to hook you up with the neighbor, and you know they necessarily, because when we always think of arranged marriages, arranged dates, I always think of somebody getting set up with somebody that's unattractive to us. You know, oh, he got a
Hmm.
good heart, baby, or she got a good heart. You know, you would love her. It always happens. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know. Was that the only time that that happened, or you had more than one?
I've had it multiple occasions where, like, I don't know, my mom tried to set me up with somebody who was already married. She's like, you would love him, and I'm like, he's a married man, mom. Like, what?
That's tough.
And then
That's tough.
and then my stepfather tried to hook me up with a coworker. The thing was, he was so young. Like, like I prefer an older dude, and he was attractive. He just wasn't my type. And the dude barely spoke English. So I'm like, where does that make sense? Like, they just, I don't know, they just wanted me with somebody so bad that they would give me prospects that maybe they were good people. They
Oh,
just
yeah, your moms and
weren't
aunties is
ideal.
still out here doing that to you guys. I see. So, if you know, you guys look at different
Right, ideal.
cultures and different times where um, dads would necessarily pair you together with somebody because wealth and wealth match. We're trying to combine our families, enterprises, and industries together. I might have cows. He might have chickens. I want cows. I want chickens. So let's marry our two families together. And believe it or not, this actually still goes on because
Yep.
I actually, my boss daughter just married this guy that has like ranches all over the place, and he
Hmm.
owns like uh, um, a butcher shop or something like that. So I'm like, he raised cows, he has a butcher shop. I mean, I guess it makes sense, you know. So, um, oh, not I'm not desperate. Um, let's see. Okay, how do you feel? Because I heard you talk about it a little bit. How do you feel manners on a date have changed? Like I heard you say something about being in your phone. If I get on my phone, you're going to get on your phone. What are other things that you've seen on dates where maybe in the past or the present where have changed? Like I mean, cell phones haven't always been around, but um, some things that might have distract somebody on a date or you know manners on a date. How has that changed in your eyes?
There's that. There's, as simple as, opening the door, or for me, or, pulling my seat out, or, letting me sit at the table before you go take your seat. Like, it's just those little things that I notice in a person. Now, does it matter to me if you sit down at the table before me? Not really, in my personal opinion. But, some people should look for that. Like, are they really thinking about your comfort first?
Okay. I know it's an old movie that comes to mind. I can't remember it. I just remember it was two kids dating and they went out on a date. The guy, young man, opened up the door for her. She got in and slid across, you know what I'm saying? Slid across and opened up his door for him, right? And then he
Me and
got
my
in,
family
right?
talked about that.
I can't remember the movie, AV, you
Neither
know the
could I.
movie I'm thinking about. But what like it's been times where I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. We want to get in the car fast. You know what I'm saying? A Bronx Tale, definitely. We want to get in the car fast. I'm gonna open up the door, get in the car. You gonna get in the car. We gonna go. Now, if I stop and open up your door for you, you might be in a rush. Am I doing it every time? Am I forgetting different type of things like that? Does that? Do you feel like that goes a long way these days? If I stop and open up the door every time for the car, I do it for when we walk into businesses or restaurants. You automatically do that. But
Hmm.
with your vehicle, is that like something that's unheard of today? Like, am I opening up the door for you? You know, is that a
I'll say
norm? Is that a
this.
norm now or a non-norm? You know?
It it's not a norm. And I noticed it was somebody who's just he for me right now, he's more like a friend with benefit. He's not a prospect because he's marked he's been a red flag in too many categories for me to think of him as me I date. However, when we do go and hang out, every time I come out to the car, he does open the door. Like he doesn't get out of the car. Maybe the first couple times he did, but now he will lean and he'll open the door for me when he sees me walking up to the car.
What? So you telling me that instead of getting out the car and opening it for you, he just reaches over and pushes the door open?
Yeah, he doesn't swing it, but he'll open it enough. Like he'll go and open it and let me know like I'm right here.
Oh, that looks like that seems like a lazy way to
It
do
is
it.
lazy. It is lazy. Well, like I said, he texts a lot more negative about me than
I
being
would feel better if
positive.
you didn't even do it at
But
all because you kind of half
it's the fact that
stepping.
he did it. Like he's acknowledging like I'm right here. Come on, instead of me coming and having to walk through the door and open it, he's like, look, I'm right here, and I appreciate that. At least he's doing something versus not doing anything at all, just sitting there waiting for me to walk into the car.
I don't know. I feel like that could change definitely. Like Coco said in the comments, don't stop doing things you did before you got the lady. Now, if you're
Hmm.
opening up doors now and you're going out on dates and you're doing different type of things, when you already get the prize, or get the woman, why do you stop doing those things? Why is it normal to stop doing those type of things?
You get comfortable. You get comfortable, because I damn sure like if I do go on dates, you're gonna see me with my hair done, my makeup done. I'm gonna be, prepared to go out. But then once we get to that point where we're just chilling, or I'm just, like you just coming over, like you gonna get what you get. No makeup, my hair might be a mess. I'm walking around in pajamas, you know. It's just you get comfortable with that person.
Definitely. What's good, everybody? Again, I'm 6'5" Mirror. This is why it matter. We figuring it out right now. I know in past times, because I've seen it. These things are definitely important. Um, Courting, going out on dinners, having proper manners on dinners, opening up doors, those different type of things. Some of those little small gestures that you might seem insignificant might go a long way. It
Right.
might go a long way. You never know. I've definitely heard my mom or my sisters. I have six sisters, and I definitely heard them talking on the phone to each other, like, "Girl, he opened up the door for me, and he brought me flowers, and different types of things like that." You hear those things because they're not normal anymore. They don't always happen.
Exactly.
Am I calling you up, meeting you on a date, like me picking you up, is that a big deal, or am I sending you an address and telling you to meet me somewhere, um it how are these things happening, so but right now, Miss, Wyatt, we're gonna let you go for a second. We're gonna get Prince Jr. up here so we can
All
get
right.
a male's perspective. Who's in here getting
I'm
beat up
ready
by
to
the
hear
women for a
this.
second.
All
But
right.
once again, this is Wyatt. Wyatt, let everybody know what you got going on real quick before you go.
Okay. Every day, 10:30 a.m., 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Like I said, I'll start my 10:30 a.m. streams again next week. Tuesdays, I'm in Cookie's Live as your co-host. Different Together with Cookie at 11 p.m. Wednesdays is Found a Way, my show that's now featured 11 p.m. Eastern. And then Fridays is Debate of the Genders at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, you guys got a lot going on over there. This this
Look,
this is,
and
this is
then
pretty much what
February is
she
coming
said.
too.
Fave me and come to my live every day.
I look, February got lots of going on too.
Fave me and
So look
come.
forward
I
to
got
that
something
too.
going on every day of the week. You know,
Uh, Wait, when
definitely
February
tap
comes,
in
it'll be
with
every
why
day.
it matters.
All right.
All right, why? All right, y'all. Right now, we're gonna have one of my close friends come up. Maybe he could give us a good perspective on the male side of dating and dining. Um, Once again, I'm 6'5" Mir, not 6'5" in real life. You know what I'm saying? And right now we got Prince Jr. coming up, 100 Millie Prince Jr. He just hit his 100 Millie. You know,
What's up,
all
big
right.
bro? Up, y'all? How you
Good on.
doing?
What's up, Prince? How you doing, bro?
What's going on? I'm good, man. I'm sorry I was running late. I'm at work, so I was trying to pull it off, but I ain't know if some other stuff was gonna pop up. But how you doing?
All right. All right. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself for the people in the back who might not know you, bro.
I'm Prince Junior B. The smallest person on tag. This is our badge, not my badge, but this is our badge. This is people badge. So that's really just it. Very cool, very laid back. Always is willing to listen and learn and teach others things. So that's what I'm about. Shout out to all y'all in here. I see you, Wyatt.
Definitely, definitely. All right, man. So we was going over some things about dating and dining. Um, so how do you let me go back up to the top. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple things that was touched on that I feel like we need a male's perspective on. Um, do you still ask women out on dates? And do you feel like men still do that today, or is it obsolete?
Well, I do. I don't know. Nah, for real. I think men do take women out on dates. I think they do because I was in a restaurant. I took my ex out on a date, and I seen a lot of people from my neighborhood on a date. So I think men do actually do it. So I don't think it's obsolete. I really
Okay.
don't.
And then how do you see paying for those dates? Like, is it okay? Is it norm for a man to still pay, or is it normal for women to pay, or is it kind of like a shared thing these days?
I think some people do share. Some people do pay. Like me, I ain't letting no woman pay for my. She not paying for nothing at the end of the day. You come out with me, it's quiet. Like I'm gonna take care of that. I got the whole bill. Like whatever you get, I got it. Yeah, I'm not.
Right.
This ain't one of those. Like I'm not take you on no date and you pay for it. Nah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, you complaining about paying is one thing. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna complain in front of her. I had a friend just take somebody out to a nice little steak restaurant. He said he spent about $400 on the date, and he cried to me the whole way home. He dropped her off, and I remember he called me, and I think he cried the whole way home. He was like, "But I really like her, though." I was like, "Hey, man, you did what you were supposed to do. You did what you were supposed
Right.
to. You took her out on that date. You know what I'm saying?
I
You
ain't gonna
you
lie.
asked her out. You already knew what she was getting into. You know?"
Yeah, I went on a date. I went on a date and I think I spent almost $1,000.
Oh yeah.
I'm still
Make
trying
sure,
to figure out. I'm
ladies,
still trying to figure out
ladies, Fave Prince Jr. thousand
what was.
dollar dates.
I'm like, what was? I was trying to say to myself like, what was in that food? Like, what was what? Like, I don't know. Somebody echoing.
I think that's you, bro.
Nah, that's definitely not me. I don't echo. Just all iPhones.
All right. How do you see small talk has changed over time with getting to know somebody or having during the date small talk? What are the type of things that should be brought up um, during a date?
I feel like during the day, y'all should get to know each other, but nowadays it ain't even like that. It's straight. It's get straight to the point. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I
Getting
took a
straight
girl
to
on
the
a
point.
date and I like we was walking on the pier, you know, the little restaurant. It was like on the water and it's like a little pier. So we walked on the pier and she like so like what we doing after is like is we gonna just do what we gonna do? I'm like that was like I was like that's a turn off. Like I was like, all right, I see what this about. I said so I was like, nah, I'm just drop you off, you feel me? And she was like, for real? Like you spent all that bread and you going yeah, like you just killed my vibe. Like, don't worry about it.
We talked about that before you got here. Dating with a purpose or dating with intentions. You already know what you're expecting out of a date, and going into that date with already knowing what you want. Um, Back in the day, we'll say, what were some of the key things? Like paint a picture for us what the man would look like in the dating world
What back in
from
the days
I don't
or
know
now?
30 years ago, 40 years ago. How would you feel like the man looked in the dating world?
Nah, they did their thing. Like you know, they was extra sharp. You feel me? Super sharp with the high pants and all that. You feel me? Nowadays, you know, you wear anything.
Right.
Like
So I could show up on a date with a tank top and some basketball shorts and some Jordan sandals, and
that's a
we
fact.
going on a date.
That's a fact. I'm telling you. Like, and I find it so weird. Like one day, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I'm good. I'm good. I did the funny business, you know, because I wanted Shorty to have her own car because I wasn't taking her home. But she pulled up, and I'm like, she was in a sundress and some sandals. I was like, oh, this kind of date. So you know, I was already overdressed. So I'm like, oh, that's all right. That's even lit. Let me just go back upstairs and do what I do best. I want to put on my hoochie daddies and a tank top. I came down with sneakers on, and I was ready. Feel me? And she ain't say nothing. So I was like, hey, that's cool. I'm just saying. Salute to
Oh
everybody
man!
coming in.
All right, it's the hoochie daddy shorts with the sundress. Y'all
Telling
was
you,
both of them demon time.
telling you,
Clearly,
telling you. I
what's
had to
up,
get on her
Johnny?
type of time. You feel me?
All right. Do you feel like people were obligated to thank a woman for going out on a date with them, and do men do that today?
I think you should, like, you know, y'all should be thankful to each other because, you know, y'all gave each other your time. You feel me? Like, to be honest, you know, thankful to each other. Yeah, both should be thankful for real. And you said, do we do that today? I don't think so. I ain't gonna lie to you. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I know me. Me personally, I always think, I be like, yeah, thank you, you know. And I be like, you know, you got home safe. I done dropped you off and I'll see you later. But
I
they be
mean, are
wanting
you
the
walking?
extra.
Are you walking the young lady to the door, or you just Wyatt? What was
Yeah.
it? Pushing the door open and letting her get out. Is he reaching over you to open
Yeah,
up the door
nah,
when you leave
I
too?
woke up to the door. I woke up because you know when you walk somebody to the door, you know you get like that last little 5 minutes. You feel me? To know like if shit airhead or not. We're just keeping it a stack, and that's what most people be needing. They be needing that.
Yeah,
No lie.
I know we touched on it a little bit. All right, so when you are you still asking the dad to go out on a date with the daughter, or are you just skipping
Oh no,
that
no,
for
I'm not doing that. I don't even want to get to know your pops. To be honest, like we keeping it a buck. Because if it don't work out, he gonna be in my ear drilling me. Oh, you should get back with her. Because you know it's a person. Pops always want to be your best friend. You know, like chill out, bro. Oh, you got the nut ones that just be wanting to kill you. Like, oh, you broke my daughter heart.
No, man, look,
When you
I,
broke
I'm
my
not
mother
gonna
heart 300 years back, you ain't never say that. So if I broke his daughter heart,
man,
hey,
look.
look, you feel me?
All
But no, I'm
right,
not asking nobody. I'm not asking nobody dad for their blessing to take their daughter on the date. Cause when I get on that date, she might be an airhead. So that's all we gonna get is that one date. You feel me? So let's be honest.
that's wild. That's wild. So we'll say like our parents, grandparents, and other elders of our time, they would go on a date with
Yeah, they
one
had the good
person,
old days.
and one person at a time. These days we date multiple people. It's pretty much like
Whoa, 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 whoa,
playing
whoa, whoa. Slow
playing
down.
Build a
No,
Bear,
no, you can't say
you
that.
know.
You cannot say that. Can't cannot say that, sir. If you
Why
and that
can't
person ain't boyfriend, if you and that person ain't boyfriend and girlfriend, that ain't no multiple people. Y'all friends. Y'all getting to know each other. Y'all at stages. You feel me? So that's one thing. Men and women, y'all gotta stop saying that we date multiple.
see which
If
one fits
if I
for
take you
you?
on a date, if I take you on a date, we on that date. You feel me? But it's no telling what's gonna happen after that date. That date might just be that one time and it's dead. You feel me? Compared to if the date was fire and it's like, yeah, I need to go again. You know, hey, we take you out. You know, like 2 weeks. You feel me? Because I'm not taking you out the next week. That's dead. Because then I'm gonna feel
You
like
got
I'm
two
just
young ladies. You digging both young ladies. They both got good energy, but you can't figure out which one you want to date seriously. You're courting both of them. What's wrong? What's wrong with that? If you put all your energy and eggs into one basket and it doesn't work
nah.
out, then you're back
I'm not.
completely in the dating world.
I'm not saying that. Like, but like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I take people out, I don't consider that dating. I don't consider that a date. You feel me? Like, it's just a vibe. Dating is when we together. Now we going on dates. You know, we going on all that kind of stuff. Before that, now that's not a date. It's just a vibe, and that's what I call it. You might call it a date. I'm gonna call it a vibe because I'm trying to catch your vibe. I'm trying to feel the vibe. You feel me?
That's definitely the difference between then and now. You can't go back 40 years and tell somebody like, "Hey, I'm just trying to catch a vibe. I'm just trying to feel you out. I'm just trying to see what time you on." You can't tell that because you can't even get to that stage if it's
Exactly.
not serious already.
Exactly. Like, back in the days, that first day, oh, we together. You tripping.
Right, right.
Now,
Exactly. Exactly.
now
We
what?
together
Hey,
now.
listen. Now it's oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna see how the next one go. But one thing I can tell you though, I ain't gonna lie. I'm never gonna let a woman pay for nothing or like come out of pocket, period. But sometimes I be testing women like I'm like, yo, I might just got it for the meal. You got the tip, like just to figure somebody out. You feel me? Like, so like if I didn't have it to pay the tip, would you pay it? You feel me? Type shit. So I asked him, and a lot of them be like, oh nah, you took me on a date, so I guess he just not getting a tip. Oh well, I know next time we ain't going nowhere. You feel me? Like the vibe is dead. You feel me? So it go both ways.
All
If
right.
I'm in a
So
relationship, that's a different story. I'm just with one person.
what's good, everybody? I'm 6'5" Mir. That's 6'5" in real life. We got my man 100 grand up here, 100 mil, Prince Jr., discussing the dating and dining side from the other perspective. Um, okay, so you go out on a date. We'll say you go out on a date, whether it's yesterday or today. What is the time frame for going out on a second date? Do you wait a week? Do you wait 2 weeks? Or do you try to get another date in as soon as possible?
Now I'm giving you about 2 weeks. I still got to fill you out because we might not make it to the second date. You feel me? It all depends on what's going on. You feel me? Like a lot of people be so thirsty to be like, yo, let's go on the next date. And then after that second date, y'all together now. Whoa, that still don't determine we together. I have to get to
Well,
know
if
you.
if you were dating back in the day, you were
Yeah, that
together
first
on the
date, you
first
was
date.
already in the relationship.
You was already in a relationship. So
Yeah, the
what's
first
wrong with
date.
being in a relationship on the second date these days? Like,
Nah, you
how many
can't
dates does
because
it take
you
to
nah you
become
nah because you really gotta get to know them now. Like you feel me? Back in the day, girls didn't really like girls wasn't confused. They wasn't all over the place. Nowadays, you gotta take your time. Yeah, they definitely waste time all the time. People waste Prince time all the time. You feel me? But
I
hey,
remember a
that's
movie,
neither here or
uh,
there.
50 First Dates. I know it has nothing to do with exactly that because the movie was about some other stuff, but 50 First Dates, like, do you feel like going out, the second date or that third date, do you still get the first time feeling from the date?
You said what?
The first time, like, when you go out on that first date, you have
That
that
first
little
date be
butterfly
so dope,
effect,
right? And then
you know?
that second date could be
Yeah,
real.
like do you still have the same feeling on the second date, or does it become routine after that? Like, oh, we
Sometimes
just
you
going
do,
out.
sometimes you don't. So that's up in the air. That one is up in the air. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie to you.
I see someone said people be wasting time. So you got to go on multiple dates to know if they're wasting time or not. And you didn't have the luxury of that back in the day. You had to know your intentions. You definitely had to go out on the date and figure it out right away. Like if I liked you, I wanted to go out with you because I felt like you were going to be the only one for me. And like I
Right,
said before in the beginning, that forever love, you got
right,
together and that was it. We together 50 years later.
right. But a lot of people waste time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I met a couple people that waste my time. I met a couple people I waste their time. But I go for energy. I go for like a lot of people. And another thing that be messing stuff up is people be too demanding. You feel me? Like I don't demand nothing. People be real demanding, and I be like, damn, didn't see that before. But it is what it is.
Right. All right. Last question for you because this is definitely a thing that happens a lot. Where do you feel that dates need to take place at? Because a lot of times people want to go to restaurants and take dates, but these days people are quick to invite you over their house for a date. How do you see that?
Oh no, 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 that ain't that. That's not a date. I'm not coming to nobody else. That's not a date. That's not a date. It's gonna take a minute before I walk through y'all's door, and it's gonna be a minute before you come through
She
mine.
invites you over their house for a nice day. She prepared you dinner, you know.
Nah, let's
Um,
take that. Let's take it to the park. Bring her, bring her. What's more?
let's
Let's
take
sit
it
in
to
the
the
park
park.
and eat. Yeah, let's sit in the park and eat and talk. You feel me? So with the restaurant, to keep it 100%, the restaurants I go to, they can't even play those type of funny business with the food. To be honest. And this one is only because my friend is like a health inspector, and he like expected that restaurant, and they really don't play in that restaurant. So that's why I take people to that restaurant. It's on the water. It's a little pricey, but you get the bang for the buck. The food is good,
I
and
feel
you
that.
got a little pier where you can walk on and take some pictures. For me,
They
so
have
you keep
ratings
it
and all that
5 stars.
different type of things. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's a 5 star joint.
we're gonna go to a date at a restaurant. Definitely the first date should be out somewhere for sure. Um, I guess with Prince Jr., he has to see what's going on in your kitchen. So when is the acceptable time to be invited over the house for a date then? Because we know like back in time, I feel
I
like they
feel
didn't
like
really go out to restaurants because they invited people over sooner and come over and have dinner with me and my family. That was a regular thing. Come over and have dinner
yeah,
with me
yeah,
and
but
my family.
the food was prepared before you got there. I need to like I'm trying to figure out what you about. I want to watch you cook. You feel me? Like real talk, because a lot like I'm not even gonna lie. Like one of my men's his girlfriend, like she's a fire chef. I never had her food, but every time they open her joint, it smells good. But one day I pulled up on him, but he had to go meet her, and the kitchen was disgusting. And I was like, oh, one, I never ate this shit, but it smells so good. And everybody said it tastes good, but I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work for me. I'm not. That's disgusting. If I come to your house and your kitchen is nasty, I would never want to eat there. I don't care. If you clean it the next day, I'm not with it. I don't want it. For
All right.
real.
I feel it. I feel it. So we definitely got both sides of the spectrum, male and female. I hope you guys definitely enjoyed today's show. I'm 6'5" Mirror Mirror. This is my dude Prince Jr. right here. Yeah, when can they catch you on tag again, Prince?
Y'all could catch me. What time is it? Y'all can catch me like around 4 or 5 o'clock. But if y'all don't catch me then, y'all can catch me anywhere like around 10, like 8 to 10, and then I like stream through the night if I'm on. But if I'm not, I'm probably sleeping or something. Real talk.
Uh, he falls asleep in his live. He falls asleep in his live, y'all. Definitely. All right,
Salute
man.
to
It was
y'all.
good to have you on. Wyatt, it was good too. I definitely got to have you guys back again. You know, there's going to be many more shows and many more topics and different things like that. Next week, we're going to have two more good streamers on the show. We're going to have a different topic. I believe we're going to do social norms of culture, you know, so different things like that. So definitely tune in next Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. You know what I'm saying? Set your clocks and calendars now. If you need me to remind you, hit me with a DM on here or Instagram. I will definitely remind you, send you guys flyers if you want to help promote the show. Um, and look, man, times changed, y'all, and it's gonna keep changing. A lot of the different social norms of different things, they come into play, they come out of the play, and we could definitely touch on the five pillars of social norms. So there's 5 different types of social norms, and we could definitely go over those too. So right now we up out of here. I'm actually gonna restart real quick. So if you guys want to come back and have a little discussion on some of these things, you definitely can. Feel free to hop in the box and discuss some of the things you guys feel, you know. And we out. Thank you for coming.